You know, the world of laptop processors has been dominated by just a couple of big names for a long time, but that's all starting to change. A really fascinating new choice just landed for one of the most customizable laptops ever made, and that's what we're diving into today.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big picture, what this new battleground for laptop chips even looks like. Then we'll zoom right in on this unique modular ARM option and get into its specs. After that, we'll tackle the big three: performance, power, and of course price, before we figure out who this is really for. Let's get to it.
All right, so for what feels like an eternity, the laptop market has basically been a two-horse race, but a new challenger is really shaking things up, and that's ARM processors. Now, you might not know the name ARM, but I guarantee you know the tech. It's the super efficient architecture that powers pretty much every single smartphone on the planet.
And this really lays out the shift perfectly. On one side, you've got your traditional laptops, powered by Intel and AMD, which have always been about raw, high-end performance. But on the other side, you've got this ARM revolution, which has always prioritized amazing power efficiency and all-day battery life. That's the secret sauce in our phones. And now, with seriously powerful chips like Qualcomm's Snapdragon X series showing up, ARM isn't just for phones anymore. It's a huge contender in the laptop space.
So, with ARM making this major push into laptops, we're starting to see some really cool, really unique products pop up. Let's take a look at a fascinating new development for one of the most special laptops out there. First, a quick intro for anyone who's not familiar with this. The Framework laptop is built on this incredible idea of customization and sustainability. Seriously, just think of it like Legos for computers. You can upgrade or replace almost any part yourself. The memory, the screen, even the entire mainboard that holds the brain of the computer, the processor.
And that is exactly where this story gets so interesting. A third-party company, Metacomputing, saw this modular design and jumped on the opportunity. They've just released a brand new mainboard for the Framework Laptop 13, and it's not running on Intel or AMD.
And right here is where this new level of choice becomes a reality. We are talking about a totally different processor architecture, an ARM chipset that you can just drop into an existing Framework laptop. Or get this, you can even use it to build a tiny standalone mini PC. It's all about that flexibility.
So, what's actually powering this new mainboard? Let's pop the hood and take a closer look at the specifics of the CIX CP8180 chipset.
Okay, this table breaks it all down nicely. The CPU has 12 cores in total, but they're split. You've got 8 powerful performance cores for the heavy lifting, and then 4 efficiency cores to sip power when you're just doing lighter tasks. It's also got a pretty capable 10-core GPU, and, this is a big deal these days, a dedicated AI accelerator.
And that AI accelerator is measured in TOPS, which stands for trillions of operations per second. At 30 TOPS, this chip has some serious muscle for handling AI tasks right on the device without needing to send your data to the cloud. That's going to be huge for all the new AI features coming to our computers.
All right, the specs look pretty interesting on paper, but let's be real. It all comes down to 3 things, right? How fast is it? How long does the battery last? And what's it going to cost me? Let's dig into those critical trade-offs.
This is it. This is the million-dollar question for anyone thinking about an alternative like this. Is this new ARM chip a speed demon, or is it something a little more modest?
So it's really important to set our expectations right. This chip is not designed to go head-to-head with the top-of-the-line Snapdragon X Elite. But for your day-to-day stuff, web browsing, writing emails, working on documents, it should be more than enough to get the job done.
Now, this is probably the biggest catch. Early info shows the chip pulling around 16 watts of power even when it's just sitting there, doing nothing. I mean, to put that in perspective, that is a lot for an idle chip, and it's a huge red flag for battery life. For a laptop that's supposed to be portable, this is a really serious hurdle. So what about the price? Well, the base kit kicks off at $549. For that, you get the mainboard itself, 16 gigs of RAM, a 1 terabyte SSD, and that pretty cool mini PC case if you want to go the desktop route.
And if you don't already have a Framework laptop, you can grab a whole bundle, the laptop body plus the ARM mainboard kit for $999.
Okay, let's put all the pieces together. The performance is, well, it's decent, but it's not going to break any records. And the battery life is a massive question mark because of that high power draw. So who in the world is this actually for?
Well, when you weigh all the pros and cons, the target audience becomes pretty clear. This isn't really for the average person who just needs a new laptop for school or work. No,
This is a tool built for developers, people who need to build and test software for this growing ARM ecosystem and who can really take advantage of this awesome modular platform.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, even though this specific ARM board is definitely a niche product, it represents something so much bigger. It's living proof that real processor choice is finally coming to laptops, and it just shows the incredible power of a modular platform like Framework to unlock new ideas. But it's also a great reminder that new tech always comes with trade-offs.
And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. Is this just a cool, niche experiment for a handful of developers? Or are we looking at the first signs of a future where we can build our laptops just like a desktop PC, mixing and matching parts from whatever company we want? It's a pretty exciting thought. Thanks for joining me.